Hey guys, it's Marshall Tingle with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside Report for this past week, the week of May 11th through the 17th. So another busy week here across the state of Kentucky in your auction barns and markets. 19,304 head of cattle marketed statewide. But let's get right to the elephant in the room, guys. Let's talk about what this market did. You've seen a lot of volatility this past week. The board decided it was going to take a big shift there on Wednesday, a downward shift, and your cash market followed it. So the first half of the week, we started off really strong. We're gaining ground. We're going to call your feeders, steers, and heifers both about $3 to $5 higher there, some instances sharply higher. But now, once Wednesday come along, the board did drop. Didn't really affect your market as much on Wednesday. We still had some actually nationwide highs there on Wednesday, but once Thursday and Friday came around, you sure could feel the difference. Your back half of the week, we're going to call it $3 to $8 lower, both on your feeders, steers, and heifers both. But I can say this, even though we did lose $3 to $8, this market is still really good. So don't just, it's just everybody's kind of down about it a little bit, but it's not a funeral, if that makes sense. That's the best way that I can describe it. Your yearlings did lose a little bit of ground, but again, not too much. If you consider how high they have gotten, in my opinion, it's probably the same comparable market as it was about 3 weeks ago, which is still a really good market, and we were happy about it then. But just be aware, this board has had some volatility to it. Now, that being said, when you talk about these little light feeder cattle going in, there's a bigger spread on these things, and your averages might have backed back just a little bit. But for the week, your highs are still really high. So let's break this down. Your full weight steers, I'm gonna give you about 420 as an average there. They topped off at 475. Your 5-weight steers, 360 to 375 as an average. They topped off at 4.25. And your big 6-weight steers, 330 as an average there, 382 as a high. So you can see the highs are still really good, but your averages probably backed up just a little bit. Now let's talk about these yearlings. That's where a lot of people are concerned. We had some astronomical highs. Like I said, some national highs there on some 9-weight steers. But when I break down these loads for you guys, I want to give you kind of the first half of the week or back half of the week, just to give you a comparison of what it was like before the board and after the board kind of decided they want to take a drop. So let's talk about this. Here is 69, mostly black steers. These weighed 810 on the average at 310. That was a Wednesday sale, so that's right there when the board was starting to get funky. Like I said, it didn't really start trickling down until Thursday. Now here's 65 head of black steers, 801, 281. That was a Thursday trade, so after the Wednesday board drop. So you can see just a little bit of difference there. Now 67 head of black steers, 843 at 297.10, and that was after a Wednesday sale. 61 head of black steers, 852 at $3.10. That sale was the first half of the week when things were still looking really, really good. Now here's 62 head of black steers, weighed 881 at 282.95. That was going to be on a Thursday, the back half of the week after the board had shifted. But check out these guys. These are your national highs. 61 head of black steers, weighed 912 at 303. So as you can tell, this board has taken just a little bit of a shift, and it kind of did back up your loads, but not bad. If you really sit down and break the difference down, guys, say $3 to $2.97, that's only $3 or $4. Now your highs were really high, and that kind of makes the rest of it look a little bit out of proportion. But that's what's going on in your cash market. Now let's talk about your CME feeder cattle index. It's backed up just a little bit, just as the cash market has. So Monday the 12th, your CME feeder cattle index was 302.40. Tuesday the 13th, 302.41. Wednesday the 14th, 302.17. Thursday you saw a little bit of a drop. Thursday the 15th, $3.79. Then we closed out the week Friday softest at Friday the 16th at 298.86. So that's what's going on in your cash market, guys. That's what's going on in your CME feeder cattle index. If you have any questions about any of this information, or you're interested in the LRP policy, there really is no better time than right now to invest in one of those. Feel free to reach out to the guys. Call Ian Thomas at 859-613-2453. Call Adam Shoemaker at 859-338-4116. And don't forget about Cole Clark. He's at 859-865-2980, or check him out on the web, www.superioragins.com. But as always, thank you so much. Enjoy this warm weather. Try to stay dry. Talk to you next week.